Welcome to my next video. Today I'm going to go over my hydraulic leveling jacks. I have the Equalizer leveling jacks on all four corners. The control panel sits right here. Now this was a factory option, as in it was installed by the Winnebago factory, not at the dealer. Back in 2019, this was about a $2,500 option. And it's the same option price today. If you go out actually on Winnebago's website, you can build this and you'll see it's about a little over $2,500. Now, what I would recommend if you're in the market for shopping for a new RV or any kind of RV on this Sprinter van cutaway chassis, I highly recommend getting the Equalizer leveling jacks from the factory if you can. It'll be the cheapest way to get into leveling jacks, because the leveling jacks aftermarket wise, you're going to be paying, you know, $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000. You'll have to travel, but it's much more expensive than the factory. Now the aftermarket wise, you do have a couple of other choices besides the Equalizer. They do have the HWH and Bigfoot. I don't know, there may be others, but those are the other two popular brands. And when you use the auto level, I'm not sure if all of them do this. The reason this bothers me with the tires off the ground is that my driveway here is actually pretty level. It has a slight incline to the front, but very minimal. And when it does auto level, it's totally unnecessary to level in this order. I did talk to Equalizer, 2.5 years ago. They didn't have a fix. They pretty much said this was normal. It's not going to hurt anything. And I know it won't hurt anything, but why go through this extreme leveling when it's unnecessary? The other thing it causes is the stairs are super high. And again, totally unnecessary. So if you'd like a fix for this, stick around and I'll continue on. Now, when you watch these tour videos, if you from the salespeople, if you look at the Winnebago view, the standard factory option, it's not an option, but the standard factory configuration is sometimes they'll say, hey, look, it has the stabilizers, and it does. It comes standard with electric stabilizers. They're shaped like a scissor, and they're only on this corner and the other corner. When you read the literature, sometimes you can get mixed up. When it says stabilizers, they are not the same as the hydraulic levelers. Even if they say it's electric, it has nothing to do with leveling the RV. So let's jump on inside and I'll show you the hack that I do to prevent the wheels from coming up off the ground like this when you do the auto level function. Okay, let's go inside and go over the operation of these hydraulic levelers. What I have going on is that I have the Equalizer panel. It's over by the fire extinguisher. Now that was a factory option that was installed at Winnebago. And if you read the manual, what it's going to say is to start your engine to use your levelers. And obviously, if you're pulling into the campground, the engine would be running already. Here, I'm actually sitting in my driveway. So when I'm operating like the slides and the levelers, I don't like starting up the engine just for that. What the manual doesn't explain is if you actually hit just the start button and you get in that accessories mode, you're going to have to hit it again until you get this orange check engine light. That means you're in the accessory mode. You remember though, in the old days, you would turn the key. This one's a little finicky here, but you have to get to the point where you get that orange check engine light. That means you're in accessory mode. The engine is not running. And let me back out of this. I hope everyone's using their app, but I usually keep it on my phone. But there's an Equalizer Smart Level app here, and we'll connect to the system. So we'll turn the power on, and here we're going to hit the auto level. And let me give you a little bit of a trick on what I do to get it to auto level so the front wheels don't come up completely out of the ground. My driveway is pretty flat, but in the factory setting, my wheels will go way up out of the ground. So I'm going to hit auto level here. And now you can hear the alarm. The alarm is coming from the physical panel. There's a secondary alarm that's up here, but it's really loud and annoying, so I've disconnected it. I showed this on my Sprinter, I think the Hey Mercedes features, but if you look here, it's just these two terminals here. I disconnected them because it's just a redundant alarm, and I already have the alarm at the panel. I don't need this alarm screaming at me. And if you actually are using the app and turn the volume up, that will even have an alarm. So I'm not using the alarm, but here we're at the auto level setting. So let's wait until it gets to the auto level. So I pull into the campground, hit auto level, and while it's going through its own thing, I'll go set up other items. But once it's done, the one setting that I made different was that I actually made the nose point low. So if we go outside, I am not level. You probably can't pick this up on the camera, but I'm nose low. So my wheels are obviously still on the ground. And I go back to my app, and the way I have it set up is I hit auto level, it gets to this point. Then I've learned along the way that, and this happens at every campground, doesn't matter what kind of condition I'm in, if I hit the down button in the front 7 times, let's go over it together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the rears, I actually put up. I raised it back up. I wouldn't say raise the rears, I'm raising the jacks back up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I do that, now I'm at level. That's called setting your null value on the panel. You'll have to read your manual on how to set the null value. The null value is basically when you're at level, you're supposed to hit the null. When you do that, unfortunately, Equalizer always has it where the wheels come completely out of the ground, completely unnecessary. But if you keep it nose pointed down, and you'll eventually get the sequence what's right. The other thing, of course, is you have to make sure your left and right is set correctly when you do the null. So I have it on level with the nose down. And this is the end result I get. So when I come out here, now you will see my end results. Again, it'll be tough to see that it's actually level, but what you will see is that my tires are not off the ground, and all my levelers are actually touching. And go to the back here, and you will see that my levelers are actually touching. So that is my way of leveling. Now this is for Equalizer only. I can't speak for what Bigfoot does or HWH, but this is my quick way of having totally unnecessary leveling where the front wheels are way off the ground. If you have this problem, this is a really quick fix for it. And if you have found other ways, please let me know. I know I talked to Equalizer personally over 2 years ago, probably 2.5 years ago, and they didn't have a solution at that time. They acted like, I wouldn't say they acted like, it's almost like the first time they've heard of it. But everyone I know, that is a condition that's always a problem. And it's not going to hurt anything, you know, with the wheels up off the ground, but why have it that way? It's totally unnecessary. Maybe they had some software upgrades within the last couple of years, but based on what I've experienced, I doubt it, but you know, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. The other thing is, once you get to this level point, let's go to the back. This is how you would actually operate the slide out. Now you know that my engine is not running, and part of my tour video was you have to have the engine running to run the slide outs out. And that's a modification that I have made. It's not my invention, somebody else came up with this, but you can modify some wires on the back of the switch. And right now, see, my engine is not running, and I can take the slide outs out. And this would be the sequence that you actually take the slide outs out, is level first, and then put the slide outs out. So let's let it go out all the way. That's in real time, I didn't fast forward it or anything. So when you are putting the slide out, One thing, of course, you got to check is make sure there's nothing on the floor underneath the slide. But the area that's prone to get caught up is this curtain right here. If it's tucked behind here, obviously when the slide out, goes out, it can hit that. Same as this cushion. This cushion likes to pull out, like out to here sometimes. Depends on who's going up there. You got to make sure that's tucked forward, and anything here you have to make sure nothing is in the way. That's my quick instructions on how to use your levelers. And then just the opposite is if you want the levelers to go back up, or let's say we're leaving the campground, we'll of course have to put the slide outs in first because I'm at level. So I'm bringing the slide outs in, and I'll probably fast forward this portion here. And once the levelers are, or sorry, the slide out is in, then the next would be you go to your automatic levelers. I use the app and hit all retract. Of course, mine again, my engine is not running, so when I'm at a campground and plugged in and not really have to worry about power because I'm ready to roll shortly, I don't turn on the engine first. I like to get it all set up, and basically at the last moment I'll start the engine and take off. So hopefully that helps you. The other thing is, in order to shut the power light off at this, you hear this beeping? This power light will not go off unless if you are out of the accessory mode. So you can't have the engine running or the accessory on. That's the only way you can shut off this power button. So after you're done operating and you raise your levelers and you start your engine and go, you have to manually shut this switch off, or through the app, but the power light will stay on. It does on mine anyways. Again, I don't know why. You think it would time out and shut off by itself. Again, I called Equalizer 2.5 years ago on that too, and they said no, that's actually how it works. So hopefully these tips help you. If you have any comments, put comments down below, and I have many more of these type of videos, so I'll see you on the next video.